It is full moon time. Full moon, full moon, full moon in Libra. So I put out some little notes here on the whiteboard. I've been meaning to do this for so long, like years. And yeah, I've just been stubborn to it. But yes, so let's get it started. So we have the full moon in Libra, which is going to be this Saturday, March 31st. And Libra is all about balance in life, balance in everything, right? So we have relationship, balance, and value. So how you value yourself, your money, everything in your life regarding you, your relationship, balance in family, love, life, and how you value things, right? And Libra is ruled by Venus, which is spirit over matter, right? So really getting the essence of yourself, of your life. And everyone can benefit from this full moon in Libra, to find balance within themselves, right? To love themselves, to work out whatever is going on in their life for themselves. We have Libra, all about balance. The tarot card is the Justice card. So this is the radiant Rider-Waite. I'm feel all tongue-tied with this Mercury probably. And then my card deck, the Lily Sky Tarot with a woman. Justice, yes. Okay. So we have the Justice card, that balance energy, right? And I'll shuffle these cards again, and when it's time to pull a card for each zodiac, we'll get to that later on. So, yes. Okay, so now we have Venus, right, who rules over Libra and also Taurus. Taurus's card in the zodiac tarot is the Hierophant. All right, so they're both ruled by Venus, all about love. So if you are Taurus, you can definitely benefit from this. Even though your earth sign and Libra is air, you're still ruled by Venus, so you can take part in that. I like to share the connections. Okay, we have the circle for the moon sign and Libra here. Now I want to talk about karmic debt. Okay, so from my notes here, we're gonna go into all of this, but first let's go into Libra. Before that is a cardinal sign, right? Libra is a cardinal sign, and Aries is also one, so is Cancer and Capricorn. These guys are the starters, the initiators. They're good at starting things. So Libras, you're good at starting anything. It could be a company, it could be a group, it could be a party, it could be events. You're good starters, right? And initiating things. The full moon time is about wish, fulfillment, harvesting, gathering things, right? You can gather herbs for healing. You can gather your crystals. This is my selenite heart, right? You can lay it out on Saturday at your window or somewhere to get some cleansing from the moon. It's a great time to affirm something to yourself, any kind of affirmation work. The full moon is a great time for protecting your energy work, whether you practice Reiki or some kind of energy healing from your culture traditionally, right? Or you do some kind of Qigong energy work, any tradition, any cultural energy healing. Time to perfect your ideas at the full moon. It's a great time to achieving your dream. What does that mean if you can't really get it? Things that you can do on your own. What can you do on your own to fulfill your dream? Practice something. Really work on something. Believing in yourself again. Just getting it in there. That's more like the full moon, the new moon, really. Self-esteem and so on. So the full moon is this time of putting things together. After the full moon phase, we go into the waxing moon, or the waning moon, the waning moon, which is where the moon moves further away from the earth. So after the full moon, it goes into waning moon, and that is the time you'd want to let go of things, cleanse your home, get rid of items, donate things, release things, let go. of anything. Even open up new spaces. After you've gotten rid of stuff, you have more space for things, and this is good. Okay? So the message for this full moon for everyone is to love yourself, right? To find that balance, right? You can always take an aspect of the moon and focus it on loving yourself. Look at what you value and why you value it. What brings you pleasure in life? Ask yourself, what makes me happy? And it's the same thing I did for my yoga channel, right? It's the same message. It is. But for the tarot world, is focus more on balance, right? Where can you find balance in your life? Where can you find justice for yourself, right? It's kind of like that clearing away anything that doesn't work for you. Now for the karmic debt, that comes into play for you to better yourself from within, help others, right? This is your karmic debt is your path of progress. How are you progressing? Ask yourself that for your greater spiritual growth, right? So it's this cycle of life. While you're alive, you can see people destroying themselves, and then the rebirth of things, something new comes out of it. So people always think that most of the destruction is outside, but it's really within themselves, that conscious cycle of destruction and rebirth. Helping someone, helping yourself, helping someone that can't help themselves, So this is going to be a big time now where we see people for who they really are when it comes to give and take and love, right? So Venus rules anything like attachments and anything that you're attracted to, the ability for you to be attractive or to attract other people. It also deals with making peace with things, making things easy to work with, harmony in situation, getting the best outcomes out of things. So maybe you can focus on something like that when you pull your cards, when you shuffle your cards. What is your intent? Maybe you got to know first what your intent is, and then the card, when you read the card, it shows you the best way to go about it, but it doesn't give you anything magical. It's more of decision making, but you have to know what you want and then the best way to go about it. So how can we add a Venus-like quality into our life, right? We can do that by loving ourselves, by being compassionate, by being filling ourselves with grace, with love, with being a peacemaker for ourselves, within ourselves, before we can do that for someone else, right? So we can always see what level we are as far as our spiritual growth or our understanding of ourselves and the people around us and the people we care most about. But know that it's up to that person to be who they want to be and how they want to be, right? So at this time, it's good to note like all the strong signs that might be around you right now, like Aries, Leo, Virgo, Scorpios, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Gemini, right? So these signs won't compromise that much with you at this time. So if you happen to be Libra, then this is quite a handful of signs, right? So they might be a little bit harder to work with, but that depends on how you view things. So maybe you have to open your mind up a little bit. I put like a little light bulb here in the light. So what you view as being difficult is not really difficult. It's maybe a new way of you looking at things, right? So the best way to deal with anyone, regardless of what their zodiac is, but I'm just listing Aries, Leo, Virgo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Gemini, Taurus, Capricorn. They're on a mission. They're strongly working on things too. And if you look at that, the Aries, the Capricorn are self-starters like you. Those two are the cardinal signs like you. So it's harder for you to really penetrate through to them because they are working on something just as important as you feel that you're working on something. Okay? And you want to be very relaxed and let things flow as easy as possible. Okay? Maybe like a King of Swords energy. That card kind of popped up on the back while I was shuffling it. So maybe like a King of Swords energy where you know you're in control, but you're being very cool and you're using your words to bring about peace. And with those signs, you might have distant peace with them because you might have to end some of the relationship, or you might just have to work the best way you can with them. So the negative sides of Venus, because Venus has the positive side, right? Like attraction, attachments to things that are beautiful and peaceful and in harmony and just very attractive, and people are just drawn to it, like the arts, love, money, beauty. The process of beauty is very much in Venus. Romance, any kind of luxury, any kind of comfort and sensuality is Venus. But the negative side of Venus can be vain, self-centered. It could be superficial and self-indulgent, right? Self-indulgent. But the superficialness is the person is so busy that they're focused on what they're doing, but they're trying to be nice to the other person. And when you try to be nice to someone and you know you're busy, you are perceived as superficial. You want to care about what they're saying, and you're trying to make time for things that you don't have. So in a way of not seeming superficial is just not being afraid of saying no. Just say, I'm really focused on something right now and I can't divide my time up for that. Then you won't seem superficial. So it's really people not communicating and not saying what they need to say. And the self-indulgent can be a negative, yes. It's the extreme of taking care of yourself. Self-centered is the extreme of wanting attention, right? And vain is the extreme of wanting attention or to be considered attractive. So the symbol of Venus is spirit over matter, right? So really having that sense of beauty of self without being pretentious or vain and all of those negative attributes, the opposite side of being attractive, right? And it's not just a physical look, but it's also the spiritual within, how you feel, right? Because you notice if you go in a room and a person's really relaxed and content with themselves, you really can't bother them. And if they feel like they don't want to be around the energy, they just get up and leave. And what are you left with? With your miserable self. So it's really being at peace, right? So this Venus has a strong communication at its best, right? Venus can work with no rational thought, really. It's just you can just value beauty, and the beauty can just win. With Venus energy, beauty could just be the winning factor and there's no substance there, right? This happens a lot in society, right? So it's best when it has something behind it, some kind of knowledge, some kind of powerful thought behind it, right? Not just success, money, but finding that true happiness that lasts whenever there's no attention to be given, right? So the spirit is, for Venus, the spirit is out of the body and within the body, and the matter is the realm of the earth, right? The reality, the life, the earth. So making those two come together and feel like things are truly working, things are truly clicking. So in April we have the new moon in Aries, and we'll work on for that workshop. We'll look into courage and self determination and strength and so on when we look at the tarot reading for that, and that will be the focus and the energy for April, if anyone wants to take notes on that. So let's look at what we're going through right now. Mercury in retrograde. We have Mercury in retrograde, and I didn't write it down on here, but Mercury is in retrograde, and I'll get to the bottom of this if anyone is wondering what's down here in the green. I'll get to it. Mercury in retrograde started on March 23rd, and that's the first Mercury retrograde for 2018, and it ends on April 15th. However, when this is happening, we're perceiving our communication as troubling, as having bad communications with people. But we want to make sure this time that we're not adding too many new things to do. And if you're doing anything new, make sure it's you alone that needs to get it done. You're not waiting for someone else's approval to get things done. Okay? That's just not going to work in your favor when Mercury is in retrograde between March 23rd and April 15th. And I repeat it a lot because sometimes people will miss things, and you know, you can rewind it, but you know, I like to have that in there. So try to work independently and be creative, and be with yourself and be with your higher connection, God, whatever you want to call it, you know, the universe, the all. You know, find a better relationship with yourself and better relationship with others. This is a great time where you're going to be feeling like, okay, I really need to find something better for myself, right? And this is very powerful because back on March 6th, Venus entered Aries, and Aries is a powerful action Mars ruled sign. And then we have, which I'll mention, Saturn retrograde, which is all about planning and facts, but we want to stay focused on the Mercury retrograde and make sure that we are doing things really as self-starters by ourselves and not really needing other people to get things done. Because when you do that, you end up with trying to make your schedules match. People might run late, things might not go smoothly, but you can still make it work. But I wouldn't start new things in Mercury retrograde. Just keep working on the things that you've already planned out already. And you really have to be focused on what you value and what you love and what is important to you, and not get sidetracked in Mercury retrograde. Now Saturn, remember that Mercury retrograde started March 23rd and it ends April 15th. Now Saturn retrograde starts April 17th, and you might feel like you're being held back in business, talking with people, in your daily life. You might feel like things are flowing, but they pause a little bit, or you get news that you have to redo something, you know, or something like that. So maybe the person that you thought could help you, they can't help you. Maybe someone else can help you, but the real main answer is yourself, is you doing the research, you finding the answers, the resources that's going to best help you, right? So it's kind of like do it yourself. But for some of you, don't take that too far where you do it yourself and you end up hurting yourself. You might have to seek help from someone else, pay someone else to do something, but it's just going to have to flow and work like that, okay? So with this Saturn retrograde, it's going to be Saturn in your birth chart. So where is Saturn in your birth chart? Because it deals with the karmic debt, right? It's reviewing what matters to Saturn, like rules, structure, foundation, traditions. That's the karmic debt, is working with the Saturn energy. So Saturn only affects you within your chart. So I'm going to go over that with you guys. This is going to be a long video. I don't know how I'm going to upload it to other things, but right, so this karmic debt, it could do with your life, your career. It deals with rules, structures, foundation, right? Traditions, partnerships. There could be fighting, like the Ten of Swords. There could be negotiations, issues like that. If you happen to be Aries, so let's look at your houses, right? And look at your sign. And where's Saturn in your chart? So if it's in Aries, you're going to have troubles with traveling, education, career, reputation. And this is for everyone. I feel like since we're in Aries season, we're going to see it in the world, as far, not so much in the world, but really we're going to notice things like travel, career, a person's reputation, education, publishing, like any kind of writing, like, you know, we're going to see that in Aries season. But most importantly, if Saturn is in your chart in Aries, you'll see that. So look on your chart and see that. For Libra, since we're in the full moon in Libra, I'll just say if Saturn is in your chart in Libra, relationships and your relationship with others, partnerships, contract, marriage, right? Anything that you need balance, but it brings it off balance. So that's where you'll see it. Right? But for everyone, I feel for most signs, they'll see it affecting their communication, not to mention Mercury in retrograde in this Aries time, in your world, right? Your world, how you're perceived, where you live, and how the world perceives you and where you live. You know, it's like just the world, and also image, your image, any kind of image of who you are and people, right? So you'll see it affecting communication, the world, and image. So let me shuffle the cards and let me, okay, so down here, 10 of Swords, Saturn matters, rules, partnerships, negotiation, fights, right? So I feel like it's like the 10 of Swords energy. And I was shuffling out the cards and kind of like doing a reading. This is kind of like different. And I was like, do I share this or do I not? But I don't think I saved the 10 of Swords in this one. But it's like, how is this full moon going to really affect most people? It's with justice, right? The justice card, that Libra energy. But we all have to be our own magician in a sense, right? And we have honoring Taurus being ruled by Venus, just like Libra is ruled by Venus. I feel like the Hierophant can help us by being our own spiritual boss, like feeling our own connection, right? So we are our own magician. Make things happen. Do what you can do in your own power. Don't be lazy. Don't look for other people to do things that you know you can do yourself. But if you know that you're not qualified or you can't do that one particular thing, get someone that can. It's like common sense, if you will. You know, is it really common? But that's what they call it. The Hierophant is like really being connected to your higher self, being as spiritual as you can for you, feeling the connection. You don't need someone else to validate your existence, your right to life, your own spiritual connection. You don't need validation. 9 of Coins is like really getting things done the best way you can on your own. The 8 of Swords is like you not telling yourself BS and then having that hold you back, like you having other people hold you back by you worrying about what other people think. They don't matter. They're not helping you. They're not doing anything for you. They can go kick rocks. The Strength card represents like that Leo fire energy of just being strong within you and really, you know, feeling weak and being weak just like everyone else, but really building yourself back up because you are your greatest defender. The oh my gosh, my brain is like, what? I'm like all fired up. But the Emperor is like you really thinking ahead, seeing ahead, planning ahead, and doing the best you can with that. The Hangman is really having a clearer perspective. You can feel how you feel, but also open your mind and think more, learn more. You know, not just think about how you were raised to think or how you chose to think in life. Like, think for yourself, research things, look into things. 2 of Swords, 2 of Staves is like walking your own path. Like this one just popped out. I'm shuffling the deck and I picked these cards because it's kind of like telling the story of how you can be during the full moon in Libra, but also in the Aries season. 2 of Staves, walking your own path, really finding out who you are. You know, a lot of us can like the same things, but you're still uniquely you. You're still uniquely yourself, even though 10 million people can like, any kind of crystals, right? They can like the selenites, but they're not you, you know? 2 of Swords, really trusting yourself, Trust your words. Trust what you see. Trust what you don't see. Conscious, unconscious mind. Subconscious mind. The Queen of Swords, using your words, getting the knowledge. Change when you need to change. If something's not working, change. Who cares? You know, this works for you. You change your mind, you do that. The Hermit, researching again, that being by yourself when you need to, and think and plan ahead. Two of Coins, finding that balance that you need, right? Even though things are chaotic around you, you don't have to be chaotic, right? You can really be balanced. The Sun, being open to new things coming into your life. You might not know what the heck it is, but just have faith that something new and better is coming, and it will. Six of Staves, have something to celebrate about. Even if you feel like there's nothing to celebrate about, you're alive. Take a deep breath, you know, sit outside, watch life go by, relax, you know, make a party, make a party for no reason, you know, whatever, invite friends, like, do something that's fun, find something to celebrate. Maybe in all these actions you're doing, you will have something to celebrate. The Ace of Cups, is like that divine essence, you know, that life, again, you know, like, you know, that rebirth from that destruction of whatever that was. So this is like the divine card in the deck. So these are just cards that I felt would help balance out the full moon in Libra, like I said before, and also to help you through the Mercury retrograde in this Aries season, right? So let's shuffle the Rider-Waite. This is the Vibrant deck of the Rider-Waite, and I'm going to pull one card for each zodiac, okay? So this is it. And then I might cut this video in two because it's becoming really long. And I think it could be uploaded. I think I'll be fine. Okay. So the first one, Aries. You have Five of Wands. And Five of Wands is about you really valuing your time, but make time to be relatable and play and you know, it's about self and appearance, but you know, have fun, you know, and you will know when it's time to work and when it's time to play, and allow others to feel the benefit of whatever is going on, you know, that they're having a good time. All right, so I'm not going to cut it again. I'm just going to go off the top. All right. So now we're Taurus, and it's the Hangman, perspective. That's pretty interesting. All right. So perspective is one of the cards that I pulled in the guidance. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Maybe I'll call it, like, you know, that the guidance tarot for the full moon, you know, and for the season that we're in, the zodiac season. But Taurus, you got the Hangman, you know, really evaluate your perspective on things, how you see things, right? You got blurry there. Let me do that, right? Evaluate that. Okay, who is next? We have Gemini, right? So we have Gemini, we have 10 of Wands. Gemini, you know, make sure that you're not overdoing things. Take your time. You're so creative and passionate, but just let things flow and give yourself time. You know, schedule yourself to do all the wonderful things that you're inspired to do, that you find fun, and just do it. You know, you're creative. Do whatever the heck you want to do. Cancer is all about that foundation, right? Gemini is all about communication, so they want to really work it. But here we are with Cancer foundation and 7 of Swords. Someone might be backstabbing you, lying, wanting to steal, wanting to take what is yours. You know, stand on your own 2 feet and what you have made your foundation, and move forward and know that you can rebuild from any kind of situation, even if you can't tell if a person is lying. You know, are they helping me or are they just trying to take from me, right? But you'll do great. You'll do fine. Leo is the self. You're all about your attention and fun and your expression. And here you have the Queen of Cups, and it's like being more compassionate to yourself in this in one of your sister signs of air, because you're fire, and air gives you that joy, that energy. So you can definitely partake in this full moon and self-healing, a lot of self-love and self-healing for Leo. Virgo, you have the Nine of Pentacles, which was in this card deck that I just did of the full moon for everyone. You know how they can manage the full moon in Libra, but also the Aries time frame. So the Nine of Pentacles is amazing. It's like you are making things happen, Virgo, right? So Virgo, you're making things happen with this Nine of Pentacles. You are a self-starter, right? You earn everything that you work for. And if you're not, then you need to start doing that, because that will eliminate any kind of arguments with people, right? And go about it in a way that you're not hurting yourself. Don't be spiteful about it and then hurt yourself. Libra, you have the Two of Wands. So really see things that you want, but have your first plan, but have a backup plan, and really see what it is that you want. Okay, Libra, you can do it. You want to feel like you win, like justice when you do things. So make sure that you have your first plan, you have your backup plan, but make sure your first plan is really precise, right? Libra. Okay, so Scorpio, right? Eight of Wands. Things will move very rapidly, very quickly, and you're just all about forward. You want to move forward and keep going and not hold on to anything in the past, and that's good. Just make sure that you're not hurting anyone along the way or hurting yourself and think you can backtrack and say you're sorry. You know, so make sure that you are doing things not out of spite, that it won't mess up this whole transformation that you want to go through. Okay, really think about it. Sagittarius, the Tower. Okay, so make sure that you are not ruining your current relationships by any kind of petty actions, but also make sure that you know when to let go of things that is not going to really serve you, so you don't come to that really horrible tower. When things need to end, it's okay. It's just how you end it. So make sure you don't end it and it's really bad for you or someone else. If it's bad for someone else, it will come back to you later on, right? So now we have Capricorn, right? So we have Six of Wands. So celebration. You guys got one of the cards that I pulled from this deck. Interesting. So Six of Wands, right? Celebration. So what will you have to celebrate? What are you doing right now to make sure that you're protecting yourself? I feel like for you guys, it's your career path you might need to protect. And that will be a celebration in like 3 months for you once you guys work out your problems at work. So there will be a celebration, but make sure you go about it the right way. Okay? That Libra balance, all right? Your networking, mostly your friendship. You have the Moon card. So leaving a friendship that's not working, and you can't really tell why. Maybe you can't put your finger on why it's not working. The hell with it. It's not working. Bye. But you're afraid to let go and move forward because you don't know what's it going to be like, right? But you got to let it go and move forward. Pisces. This is the Knight of Swords. The ability to charge ahead, move ahead, right? Don't be afraid, Pisces, to move forward. It's like, this is like the final stages of what you're going through right now personally, but also it's affecting your personal relationship with others. And this Knight of Swords is like, it's time to move forward and use your words to heal you in this full moon in Libra. Okay, that balancing energy. And then move forward. And you guys are both, even though you're water and Libra is the scales of justice, of balance, right? It's still the balance, right? So that's it. Just remember that most every sign in this Mercury retrograde, and especially the Saturn, where Saturn is in your chart, you're going to have issues with communication and the world, right? Matters of the world and your image. How do you view yourself and how do others view yourself? And is that image balanced? Is it fair? Is it truly balanced? You know, like what's good for you is also good for someone else. whether it's bad for you or good for you, right? So it's really how you go about things. So for most signs, with this Aries season that we're in, and the Mercury retrograding, and the Saturn going to be retrograde in April, it's all about communication, worldly matters, and the image of everything that's going on as a collective, and the image of self, and how it reflects with that, and how it affects that. So, peace. And Facebook, I need to get on Instagram with the cards more, but Facebook, YouTube, click like, share, share, share. Thank you guys. Peace.